Hi, this is Jim Reed with Summit Funding and Summit Coaching. Today, I'm super excited to have Jonas Rosenberg on our podcast. And guys, we record these. These are the top loan officers at Summit Funding, the coaches at the Summit Funding Coaching Program. And we record these to distribute to our loan officers and people who are thinking about, coming aboard with us to help them understand what coaching is about and what it can do for you. I think it's super unique, our program. I think that it's something that can help you grow if you're already here. And if you're not here, I know it will help you do more purchase business in the next market. We're rolling into January of 2022. I just watched the news this morning, and they said there's going to be 3 rate hikes next year, Jonas. 3. Now, I've been telling everybody it's coming, and they stopped listening to me, and they stopped being in front of referral partners, and that's not you. And that's why I wanted to have you join us today. So thank you for spending some time. You're a coach for me in our program. You've had a great run, and I want to talk about it. So let's start with this, Jonas. Tell us about you before the mortgage business and what made you get into it.
So, Jim, I was in the casino business for almost 14 years. It was the love of my life. I learned how to talk to people. I learned how to get to know people. And believe me, when you get into that industry, you learn how to go very deep with people. When the Washington casino business learned that it was never going to privatize slot machines, we decided to get out. The Indian tribes were able to have the slot machines all by themselves. We decided to get out. My brother called me one day. This was pre-crash. And he said, Jonas, come up and try the mortgage business. So I went up to Seattle. And Jim, quite frankly, for 8 months, I learned everything you should not do in the mortgage business. The things that they were doing with appraisers and everything else, there were stories written about, and I didn't like it. And my son was in Tri-Cities, so I moved back across the state and went back in the casino business for a little longer until the day I went to a networking group and met a gentleman named Mark Manthei. Probably, I have to say, in my top 4 coolest and most wonderful people I have ever met in my life.
Totally agree. Manthei is top shelf.
Jim, this guy, he's everything he advertises. I mean, 7 years later, but those meetings went about 3 or 4 times, and he talked to me about this DBD program, which morphed into the MLA program at Summit Funding.
So stop right there. So I just want to explain for people listening. We used to have a business development position, which didn't really work out all that great because there wasn't enough structure to it. So we came up with a mortgage loan apprentice program where we have an intense 3-month beginning training where we do licensing, we do what we call ground school, which is teaching people cash credit and income of a loan. And then the 3rd month, we teach them basic sales, how to set an appointment, how to work an open house, what to say at an appointment with a realtor. So we've come a long way. So you're one of the guys who made it despite all of that. So I love that about you.
Yes, sir. It was absolutely incredible. 2 years in the DBD program. And then Mark Manthei asked me if I wanted to join with him. And 7 years later, here we are.
Nice. So tell me about your journey in coaching, because for me, and I almost repeat this on every one of these. I am in coaching, still being coached since the 2nd year I was in the business, which ends up being about 21 or 22 years I've been coached. And I don't know where I'd be without it. But tell me about your journey in coaching.
So Mark Manthei is an extreme coaching advocate. I mean, every time we go to a networking event, every time we go to a lunch and learn, he ends it off with buying some form of coach. So he kept telling me over and over, Jonas, we're going to get you into coaching. And so what I did a week before coaching, Jim, I picked up the phone and I called Todd Scrima and I said, sir, my name is Jonas Rosenberg. I'm just going to let you know I'm going to be one of your top loan officers one day. Can you please tell me one thing that you want me to do? And he said, Jonas, if you're serious, win dragons. And I said, what does that mean?
I love it.
And he goes, what I want you to do is, I want you to win a dragon with your coaches, which means you will be the top student. Jim, I am still proud to say at Summit Funding, I've never lost one.
Are you serious? How many do you have?
6 of them sitting right here behind me. And
wow.
Through all of my coaches, except for the one transition time where I had to change coaches one time, I have never lost a dragon yet at Summit Funding. And that is truly the thing I tell my young students is, my gosh, you have all this time with these massive, big people. Why not be their best student?
Nice. Do me a favor. Put your camera down a little bit. I want to see a little more. You put your heads. There you go. I like that. Right about there. Perfect. Wow, dude, I didn't know that about you. I mean, I know that you are a sponge. I know that you do whatever you're told, which is the key. You're like the new soldier in our business, in our company. So I really respect that about you. So tell me how many loans you were doing when you started in coaching and kind of where you're at now, how that evolution played. And I know it's super unique because you're once in a while, guys, and I don't recommend it honestly, because it has to be two people that really mesh. I mean, really mesh. They mesh from a family priority perspective. They mesh from ethics and morals. They mesh from who they want to be. And Mark and Jonas kind of are a team. They're a partnership of basically two loan reps dividing responsibilities a little bit, but both still responsible for everything. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So when you hear his numbers, remember you kind of got to divide them in half for an individual loan rep. But at the same time, they're unbelievable. So give us those numbers.
So when we started with the DVD, we had a goal of hitting 100, and that's right around, I hope I'm saying this correctly, but I think that's right around where Mark was at. And we sat down and we formulated a plan basically where I will take the origination part, he will take the back end, and then of course we add in his numbers too. So over the years, and Jim, this will be where I got into my bumps where coaching has really helped me. But over the years, we've had some bumps to this year. We closed over 400 families here at Summit Funding.
Wow, 400 families in 1 year. What was the volume on that?
We are a little, I believe it's $110 million. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's right around 110.
Nice. Wow. Unbelievable. $100 million producer in any market is a stud. Now, we both know in the last 2 years, it's been kind of like all the oranges dropped on the ground and all you got to do is run through the orchard and pick them up. And now the fruit's starting to get higher and higher up on the tree. You know what I mean by that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, rates were 2 something, then they're low 3s, and they're going up. I mean, there's absolutely no denying it at this point when it comes out on the news. So if you're listening to this, I'm going to give you a magic formula, and it's super simple, but it's not easy. Okay, it's super simple, but it's not easy. We use a greatness tracker, a sales tracker, where we track your activity, and the focus, the formula for results is your focus. That's what you do and what you think about all the time, multiplied by your activity equals your results. Your focus multiplied by your activity equals your results. Let me give you an example, Jonas. If you're a new loan officer to the business and you had a pretty good year last year and it starts getting tough and you start hanging out with everybody else who thinks it's pretty tough, what are you going to believe? You're going to believe it's pretty tough, Jonas.
Absolutely.
If you hang out with guys like me and you who know that we can do as many loans in any market that we want to, what are you going to believe?
I'm going to believe I can do anything I can or anything I want to.
I swear it's magic. I remember my dad. I was a little bit of a troubled youth, a little bit, a lot of bit in junior high. The guys I hung out with, there was 4 guys. Ken, his brother Richie, Brian, and Keith. Whew, man, that brings back memories, dude. And my dad one day came to me and he said, "Hey, buddy, I know you don't really listen to me anymore." But he said, "You're at a crossroads, bud. You're going to go this way and hang out with those guys, and I don't know what's going to happen to you. Or you're going to find a new bunch of guys to hang out with that are good people." And he looked me in the eye, Jonas, and he said, "I hope it works out for you."
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I'm telling you, I remember it clear as day. And that's what coaching is to me. It's choosing to hang out with the people who have the right attitude, who have the right results. And the best part is they share all their tactics. That's what I love the most. So what I want you to do now is share. I want to give these guys some tactics that are listening. So 3 tactics that you do that get you leads, get you loans. It can be 2 or 3. So you share with us some of the stuff you do that really works.
Tim, I think the first one you already touched on is fill your greatness tracker. The greatness tracker is the most simple, easy tool, but you would not believe how many students I get that only does half the work and I don't understand it. So my number one thing is figure out how to fill that greatness tracker every week and you will double.
Well, let's talk about that then. How do you figure out what's your tactics for filling it up? Like most people get to work on Monday and they hobnob around and see their coworkers, and then they look at their phone for their calendar and it doesn't have anything on it, and they're like trying to figure out what to do. That's most loan officers in America. So How do you make sure yours is full? What's your strategy? What's your tactics?
So, Jim, I'm going to go back to coaching. My favorite coach of all time, Aaron, made me go sit in the car. if you know anything about me, I am so ADD, squirrel, shiny thing, and I wasn't filling up my greatness tracker. So he literally forced me to go sit in the car and do not come out till my 40 phone calls are made. Jim, it was the most productive day I ever had because there were no distractions. There was no email. There was no phone ringing. There was no assistants. There was no employees. And I came out and he goes, "What did you learn?" I said, "Holy goodness, I'm going to go sit in the car or find some other office every single day until I come out."
All right. So listen, you just gave me something I used to do and now it's ticking me off. Guys, if you guys are like me, I used to do a lot of good things. And honestly, over the last 2 years, some of them have drifted away because it was so easy. And now I'm back to basics. I did the same thing. And one of the things, the tactics that I'll add to that is in my car, I still have a laminated 40 realtor list. These are the realtors that I currently work with and the realtors I want to work with. And it's qualified. It tells me how many deals they did last year, how many buyer sites. So I got to update that, but I have that in my car so I could, I'm a branch manager. I have 48, I think more than that now. I don't even know. There might be 60. Gosh, I have a bunch of employees. So I'm getting hey Jim'd all the time, all the time. Even when my door is shut, knock, 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 they look in the mirror, knock, knock, knock. And then I don't want to be mean, Jonas, so I wave them in. So I used to go in the car to get it done, and I'm going to start doing that again with the laminated thing. Because then whenever I get night when I'm driving home, I'd bust it out, look at someone I ain't talked to in a while, and just make friends with them. That's an excellent tactic. I love it. And so that helps you to make the calls. And from those calls, what's the goal of those calls? What do you do on them?
Oh, and I'm not asking for business ever, especially when I'm out in the car. My whole goal is to build deeper relationships with these people because, Jim, if you're just calling to call and ask for business, they're going to hang up on you. They're not calling back. But if you can call and know their kids and know what's going on in their world and they've been over to your house for dinner or we've gone out to a basketball game, the whole world changes. My favorite thing is when I call them up and call them by the nickname that I have for them and not their name. Sometimes the nickname is, "Hey, butthead, how are you?" I love when I get the teasing response back. I own them, Jim. They're my friends, and now we're doing business together.
I'm doing the nickname. I've never heard that one. That's juicy. I like it. All right, so give me your second thing that you do that actually gets you results.
So, Jim, the biggest mistake I made in my career this year is when Summit Funding sent out the the refinance list to me, I qualified them. I'd look at the rate, I'd look at their situation, and I'd say, no, I'm not going to call them. There's no reason for them even to talk to me. Well, what I was doing was making decisions for them that they're not going to move, they're not going to. So, Jim, I took a page out of your playbook. Every time they sent me the list, I slide broadcasted it. Every single month, I send out a message, real simple, easy message. "Hey, it's Jonas over at Summit Funding. Just wanted to check in with you, see if your situation has changed. If you have any needs, give me a call back." Jim, I'm averaging 5 to 10 phone calls back every time I send out that slide broadcast, where before I told Todd I was literally pre-qualifying them, making decisions for them, and they would never get a call from me.
Yeah, lots of people, it cracks me up. You help someone do a loan. They liked you, you liked them, and people don't want to call them because they feel like they're going to be a burden. But if you come with a servant heart, listen, people got about 2 or 3 months to do cash out refis, okay? We got about, if you're listening to this, it's December 16th. We got about 2 or 3 months to pull some cash out refis to make our next year as good as it can be. So if you're listening to this right now, I'm telling you, get your list of past clients and start calling them. I just did a cash out refinance for my mother. She refinanced, she literally remodeled 2 bathrooms, paid off some debt and put a little bit of money in the bank. And her overall debt service is down. Like her house payment went up, but those debts she paid off, her overall debt service is down and she likes her house better. Tell me what person don't like that. Now, is it for everybody? No, but you got to let them decide. Excellent. What's your third one?
The last one is every loan officer makes the same mistake. They work in the month that they're in. Jim, we started going back through our lead trackers for the last 6 months, and we are literally doing what you said to do, call it at least 9 times. Oh my gosh, the leads and the life changes. And Jonas, I am so glad you remembered me. Since we've been doing that, It's December and I'm still going to hit my 100 lead month goal, but we're spending a lot of time in the tracker because people forget about the previous month because they're staring at this month now. Don't do that. Jim, you really changed our business when you had us go backwards.
No, that is so awesome, guys. Most people just don't feel like they feel like they're bugging people to follow up. Now, I'm going to give you a story. I have 3 jobs. I'm a loan rep, I run a branch, and I run Summit Coaching. I'm pretty busy, bro. And I'm a single guy with 2 boys, and I have them half 50-50. And they're my pride and joy and my focus in life. So I'm very busy. I coach basketball. I'm coaching right now. I'm helping my son with his grades. I just did that this morning. So if you call me to update my life insurance one time, am I going to call you back?
Never.
Should I update my life insurance, Jonas?
Amen.
I should update my life insurance at least every 2 years. My insurance guy should be hounding me. Jim, you need to do this. Jim, I'm not going to give up. And I would call him back. I'd forward it to Rebecca and ask her to schedule it. But if he just calls me once, it's going to be on my mind and gone, and I won't remember. And so, guys, it's about a relationship. That's the best thing I want you to learn from Jonas. He is at Summit Funding at least as good as anybody else at creating a true relationship. The nicknames for your realtors, I mean, I'm flashing back to high school, and one of the coolest guys had nicknames for everybody. And I still talk to him. And it was just such a way of being like endeared to each other. It's such a good tactic, dude. Like, it's the best one I got out of here. I know it's simple, but I really believe in the next market. Some of you guys, some of you loan officers are going to get attracted to consumer direct. I hope you do. I really do. Because we at Summit will be out getting relationships with builders and realtors and taking care of our valued past clients, and we'll be happy about it. If you want to join us and learn how to do this, call me. Call me on my cell phone, 916-266-4422. Jonas, I just want to thank you so much for your time today. My last question for you is, what's next? What are you going to do next year? What's up? What's going on in your mind?
In my mind, Jim, the question you called probably about 1.5 years ago and asked if I wanted to be a Summit coach, I want to help as many young people get to where I am today. I know you know my story. When I started at Summit Funding, I was negative 60 grand in the hole because of my kids' medical stuff. Jim, that's definitely not where I'm at today. And I tell my wife every day, my Wednesdays are my favorite day of the week because I know I'm helping change people's lives the way you guys did mine.
Wow, thank you for bringing that up. So your cash net worth. So in coaching, guys, we work on sales, we work on team, how to build a good team to support you, and we work on money. The one thing that nobody else works on is money. It doesn't matter how much you make, it only matters how much you save.
Amen.
And once I believed that, I developed some security, and it helped me make better decisions. The bills coming in, making a lot of money and not having any is worse than making a little bit of money and not having. Trust me, I've done it. It's like embarrassing. So in coaching, we work on those 3 things. So if you don't mind, when you started in coaching, your cash net worth was negative 60.
Yes, sir.
And now?
I am approaching $2 million.
As a loan rep. What a country. That's all I can tell you. I feel so blessed to be in this business. And I really appreciate you. I love working with you. We're going to retire together someday, about 20 years from now, buddy. So buckle up, Buttercup. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Thank you for following Summit Coaching. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.